And now we're going to move over to the UFC side of things here. UFC Fight Night, Allen versus Craig went down at the UFC Apex this past Saturday night in Las Vegas, Nevada. And here we go. Brendan Allen in the main event dispatches Paul Craig in the third round. The official time, 38 seconds of round number 3. I'll tell you, this fight felt like it was shorter than making it into the third round because of how dominant Brendan Allen was. Mark, start us off once again. I'm letting you start off both of these Bellator and UFC because Brendan Allen is your boy. So
It's true.
Let's hear it.
It's true.
Dude, Brendan Allen is a fucking goon. Man, I love this guy. He does not care. He comes in all chill. He dials the fuck in when that bell rings, and he just breaks dudes. And it's like, I feel like he doesn't, maybe it's because of the look of him or the way he sounds in some of his interviews, or even at the beginning of that fight, you see Craig all intense and Allen's like laughing him off. It's like people don't look at him like this guy that's breaking dudes, but that's exactly what he is doing. And he broke Craig bit by bit in this fight, minute by minute. There was no advantage that Craig could find anywhere. Brendan Allen is one hell of a grappler. But as we've said time and time again, he can do it all. And that's why he's such a threat coming up in this division, because he is dangerous everywhere. And this one, I just talked about a showcase in the last fight we recapped. This was a showcase too, big time, for Brendan Allen as a potential title contender. He dominated Paul Craig in a main event, in a card built around him. You got to think that a big name opponent is in the offing for Brendan Allen at this point.
Yeah, man. Omar, what were your thoughts of Brendan Allen looking the way he did against the great Scott?
So I think this is almost the complete opposite of what we were talking about with Sergio Pettis and Patchy Mix, in the sense that Paul Craig is known for his submission game, right? He's known for being the guy that if you fuck around down there, chances are you about to find out, right? A lot of guys who go down there. I mean, look at Jamal Hill. Jamal Hill was having a great time beating on Paul Craig until he went down to the ground, fucked around, dislocated his whole shit. Paul Craig may not necessarily be the best at setting up a submission from A to Z, but he is a very good opportunistic submission artist. At least that's what we've seen in performances, right? Brendan Allen didn't give a shit about what Paul Craig brought to the table. His grappling was solid. He didn't give him any room off of his base. He didn't give him any extra limbs to work off of. This dude was very tight, very composed, and frankly just took advantage of the fact that Paul Craig is content being on the bottom for an entire fight if he needs to be. And it works for works for him sometimes. And a lot of times when he can't get a guy where he wants him, like Brendan Allen, he's just going to lose that fight because he doesn't necessarily adjust very well to anything else. It's seems to be either this game plan or bust. And Brendan Allen is just too diverse of a fighter for that to be the case. And like I said, just took full advantage of Paul Craig in that fight. And I mean, I feel like I took the bold pick with that one, right? I went submission with Brendan Allen there.
Yes, you did.
I did, right?
I nailed the round 3, but I was on the wrong type of finish.
Let's go, baby. Let's go.
Well, I feel foolish. I admit. I had to say, though, I was not a Brendan Allen hater, but I'm a little surprised in Paul Craig, man. I did not think that he was going to get kind of dominated like this. But he did.
Oh, he got dominated. You could say it.
He did. He did. Still love the guy, though. Love both of these guys, honestly. This was one of those fights where I did not want to see either guy lose. So, but it was a great kind of a litmus test, kind of for both guys in a certain sense. Because Paul Craig is not one to be messed with. So a great test for Allen.
There will be more. There will be other fights at middleweight where Paul Craig is going to look better than that. I think he just ran into a guy who is firing on all cylinders at this moment.
Brendan Allen's still young, man. Isn't he still like 27, I think?
Something around there. That sounds accurate.
Yeah, man.
Let's see.
So
Yep, that's exactly right.
after the fight, Brendan Allen is saying he wants a top contender. Mark, who do you think could be next for Brendan Allen?
So I think it's one of two guys. I think it's Marvin Vettori, or it could conceivably be Hamzat Chimaev, which I think would be a really interesting opponent for Hamzat, which makes me wonder if the UFC stays away from that because they want Hamzat to end up in the title picture, and Brendan Allen is a little bit of a risk. But I think either of those guys are a great option. You know, Cannonier's hurt. Izzy's out for a while. Obviously, Strickland and Duplessis are fighting each other. Whitaker is hanging around. I know he said he doesn't like the Brendan Allen fight. I know he's still trying to get that Usman fight, which is what I want him to get. I love that fight. So, yeah, to me, it's Vettori or Chimaev, and I think both are great.
Omar, any other thoughts?
I mean, I know Paul Acosta is going to be out for a minute. I think time frame wise, that probably could work out. So I think I'll go the Paul Acosta way.
What about the Scotsman, Paul Craig? Omar, any thoughts on where he could possibly go next for a more favorable matchup at 185 pounds?
I mean, I know Fluffy's got something, right? Fluffy got something?
No, because he got hurt and it got canceled, right? So I don't think he has anything.
Is that what it is?
No.
I know I've thrown a name out there for Fluffy in the last couple of weeks, but
Yeah, he doesn't have anything. I don't know how long he's hurt for. That's the only thing, but yeah.
Yeah. Well, I'd still like to see that fight. I think him versus Paul Craig is a very, very, very interesting fight stylistically.
Mark?
I agree. That'd be a fun one. I think I matched Jack Hermanson up with someone else last week, but I'm going to go Jack Hermanson. And I bet I like this better than whoever I said last week because I really do like the idea of Paul Craig and Jack Hermanson in there. I think they're very similar. Obviously, Hermanson would have the advantage on the feet. Craig more so in the ability to find a submission, but I think seeing them on the ground would be really interesting because of Hermanson's wrestling. A little Sweden versus Scotland. So, yeah, that's good booking.
Like it.